Hi, my name is Sarah Comerford, and today I am going to show you how to make one of my personal favorites, devil dogs. So we're going to start with the frosting so that it has a little bit of time to cool while we make the batter, and we start over here at the stove. So you've got about a medium, low to medium flame, a cup of milk, and 4 tablespoons of flour, my handy whisk, and you just start whisking it, stirring constantly. Now, as this thickens up, it will look kind of gloppy and pasty, and that's exactly what you want because that's going to stabilize the filling for your devil dog so that it's not all runny. So it takes about 5 minutes from start to finish. Okay, so my mixture is all ready here. I'm going to put it on the counter to cool for a little bit, and I'm going to move right over to making the rest of the frosting. So I'm going to add my sugar, butter, that's a cup. That is not a mistake, it's a lot of butter, and some vanilla, and I'm going to cream it all up together. Like so. Okay, so my sugar and butter are just about ready, nice and fluffy, and I have let my little glop here cool enough that I'm going to add it. You want to make sure that it doesn't have to be quite room temperature, but not too warm, and I'm going to just gradually add it in to the batter, like that. This might seem like it's a little bit thin initially, but you're going to refrigerate it when it's done while you're making the cake, and then it'll be perfect by the time you're ready. Mix it all up. And I'm going to scrape the sides down and just let it blend up until it's nice and smooth. Probably about 4 minutes. Okay, so my frosting looks perfect. The consistency is nice and creamy. Everything's mixed up. I'm going to shut the mixer off, and I'm going to put this in the fridge to cool, covered for about 30 minutes while I make my batter. Okay, so my frosting's cooling, and now I'm going to make the batter. So I'm going to start the way we start most batters. We're going to cream our butter and our sugar, eggs, and vanilla, and let that just all mix up till it's nice and fluffy. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to combine the dry ingredients. So in a separate bowl, I've got my flour, 3 teaspoons of baking soda, teaspoon of salt, and a cup of Dutch processed cocoa powder. That smells really good. And just to blend it, I'm going to use a little whisk, like that. Blend it all up. And when that butter is nice and creamy, I'm going to add the dry ingredients to it, alternating it with milk that I have right here. And then we'll be ready to portion the batter. Okay, so my batter's ready, and I'm ready to fill it in my canoe pan. Now, this is a Norpro canoe pan that I bought online. You don't have to use a canoe pan. You can use a cookie sheet, and if you do, it should be an ungreased cookie sheet. This is pretty heavily greased because of the shape of it. You really have to sort of use some cooking spray if you want to get them out. So I'm going to fill them about half full, like so. So there we go, we're almost full. You can see this batter's pretty thick, so you're going to want to smooth it out afterwards. I like to fill it about half full, maybe even a little bit more because I like my devil dogs to be big, but if you want them to be thinner, you can just do, a third full. Keep an eye on them though so that they don't burn if you make it less full. There we go, and then you can just use the back of a spoon or like this little spatula that I have to smooth them out, like so. Make sure that they're fairly even. And I'm going to put them in a 350 oven for 12 to 14 minutes. Take them out and cool them in the pan for about 5 minutes. Then take them out of the pan, let them cool a little longer, and then I'm going to show you how to do the fun part, which is the frosting. Okay, so my devil dogs have cooled in the pan for 5 minutes, then cooled for another about 20 minutes until they're good and cool. You can see them on the rack here. And I mentioned earlier that if you don't have a Norpro canoe pan, you can use a cookie sheet. So I made these 2 pieces. This one was my attempt to make one that looked like a devil dog, and it sort of flattened out. But this one is a nice round one, so it looks more like a whoopie pie. So you can use that if you don't have the canoe pan, and they'd be just as good. They just won't look as official. So now here is your devil dog, looking beautiful. And I'm just going to take my knife and slice it this way gently so I don't cut myself. Slice it through, open it up like so. And I've got my cooled frosting right here. And I'm just going to fill it. As much filling as you like. I like a lot. There you go. Put your top on. Voila. Devil dog.